everybody, welcome to episode number 34 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. Today we make a wish come true from Kirsten from Bielefeld, and her wish was Invierno of Francesco Canaro.
Invierno means winter. This was recorded in 1937, and the music is written by Horacio Petorossi. His nickname was El Marqués, the Marquis. He was a guitarist, he was a composer and director. He worked a lot with Carlos Gardel. In total, he recorded 60 numbers with him, went with him to Spain. In 1925, he went to Germany to play with the Circus Sarrazani, a famous circus. He also went to Greece, where he composed a number called Noches de Atenas.
But today our focus will go to a bandoneonist who is not so famous, but he played an unusual instrument, let's say. Let's listen to his instrument.
Well, this is the famous Ernesto di Chico, called Minotto di Chico. He was the first bandoneon of Francesco Canaro for 40 years, a long-term relationship. And in this case, he used a electrically amplified bandoneon. And it's said that it's also his big bandoneon, because he ordered at the factory of Alfred Arnold, where they made these famous bandoneons in Germany, a bandoneon with 100 buttons. Normally they have 72 buttons to create 144 tones. And this was a bigger one for a virtuoso like Minotto. And through this amplification, this instrument sounds so majestic.
So he stayed 40 years with Canaro. But in these 40 years, he did a lot of small projects, bigger projects by himself.
He tried always to be independent. He was born in Montevideo and started there to play with smaller ensembles. He started with the piano, then he went to the accordion. Then one day he traveled to Buenos Aires and bought a bandoneon. And this became his main instrument.
When he was less than 20 years old.
Yeah. In 1918, he had his first engagement with Canaro, where he was replacing Osvaldo Fresedo. And he also took part in the famous huge carnival orchestra of Firpo and Canaro, the combined orchestra, which were gigantic. These were the famous carnavales in Rosario in 1917 and 18.
And then he had also forced him back to go to Montevideo, and there Victor, the recording studio, sent a recording apparatus or whatever to Montevideo to record him, because they didn't have this.
Yeah, they didn't have a studio there, so they brought the machines to record his orchestra to Montevideo. In this time he was playing different rhythms. He was playing mainly Maxicius and Pasodobles, but he also recorded a piece called Marquesito, the Little Marquis, the first tango he composed.
And then he came back to his on-off relationship with Canaro and played with other famous artists.
He then went to Buenos Aires. He had his debut in movie theaters, as usual, in the silent movies. He played also with Julio De Caro, with Juan Carlos Cobian, and with Osvaldo Fresedo, and mainly with Francisco Canaro. In between, he always made his own recordings. In 1927, he had his own Orchestra Tipica, where, for example, Francisco Fiorentino played bandoneon. That was
famous singer.
This was his instrument before he only sang. And he also sang the estribijos, the refrains in this orchestra.
And then in 1930, he had a famous trio in Buenos Aires.
He formed a trio together with Gaetano Puglisi and José Tinelli. José Tinelli, the piano player, who also had his own orchestra. Then he formed a big orchestra where he only directed for Columbia Viva Tonal, which was a company who produced gramophones equipment. The singer was Jorge Omar, the one who sang also Nostalgias with the orchestra of Francesco Lomuto, our last episode. And from 1932 on, he was mainly with Canaro. Again, he made theater. He played also with the Quinteto Pirincho, the quintet of Canaro, the smaller one, and took part in films. When you see the orchestra of Canaro performing in films, you always recognize Minotto because he was tall and bald. He was always visible in the row of the musicians.
And he had the biggest bandoneon between his hands.
Oh, yes.
It has returned, winter with its white wheel. The frost has already begun to sparkle in my loveless life. Profound agony that makes me understand that it's terrible to find yourself alone. And when I see, as in my heart cold winds of desolations blow, I want to cry. Because my soul carries the mists of a winter that I cannot banish today. I like these lyrics of Enrique Cadícamo, but today is not the time to talk about Cadícamo. We will come to him in few episodes. We will promise.
But I had to think of our special edition about Finnish tango when Maria explained that the Finnish lyrics often complain about something which never happened and will never happen. And this is a bit in this direction. So it's a sort of Finnish tango Enrique wrote here.
Yeah, it's not typical Argentinian, I must say too. This was today Invierno of Francesco Canaro, and the wish was from Kirsten from Bielefeld. And if you have a wish for one piece, for one tango piece, we should do a journey through, then you can donate something to us and send us your wish, and then we will have a journey through your piece.
But as a reminder, we finish now with Canaro for a while because we had so many wishes and this is enough now. Thanks for your understanding. Invierno was recorded 1937. Composer is Horacio Petorossi. The lyrics Enrique Cadícamo. And the singer is Roberto Maida.
And this was episode number 34 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. Thank you for traveling with us through tangos we love. We hope you enjoyed.
Daniela and Raimund, Tangomundo, Berlin.
Stay healthy.
Bye bye.
El invierno con su blanco ajuar, ya la escarcha comenzó a brillar en mi vida sin amor. Profundo padecer que me hace comprender que hallarse solo